Welcome, welcome, welcome to On Fire to Inspire. I am your host. The music wants to keep playing tonight. I am your host, Aaliyah, the Purpose Midwife. I want to thank you so much for joining us this beautiful Tuesday evening. You could have been anywhere else doing anything else, but you chose to spend it with us. And for that, we're totally grateful. I want to thank our sponsors. And while I thank our sponsors, can y'all do me a favor? Can y'all hit that share button so that we can invite some people on and hear this great interview. I tell you, she is impacting our now as well as impacting our future. And so, as I thank our sponsors, I want y'all to hit that share button, okay? So I want to thank Come Dance with Mina over in Facebook land. If you go look up Come Dance with Mina, MENA, you can hop into virtual or local um, Zumba and line dance classes. They're on Mondays and Thursdays at 6 p.m. And you can get your virtual link over there. Go over there and like the page, and then let them know that you are interested in joining. And we have a good time, y'all. Good way of releasing some stress and just staying healthy all together, right? I want to also thank Sensational Galore, y'all. Sensational-galore.com. When I tell you these body butters are my goodness, they're all natural. She whips them up herself. She has six. I gotta find out. It's 6 or 7 cents for the men, but I do remember there are 22 for the women, and you have a little bit of everything. Y'all, I have to show y'all my favorites. I have Mango Madness, Pineapple Paradise, Love Spell, and Champagne Kisses are like my favorites right now. But man, there are so many great fragrances for you all as well, and they do body scrubs, body butters. Ladies, they have lashes, bonnets, what else? Just so many other things. Sensational-galore.com. If you are a mom, multiple operational manager, mombizboss.org, you want to connect with these ladies, and I tell you, there are some awesome entrepreneurs in this group. An opportunity to connect, collaborate, and grow and learn from each other. They have monthly sessions, lunch empowerment sessions, and just awesome speakers each and every time. So thank you. If you are a leader in any capacity, you need to add this to your arsenal. It's called Leadership Inside Trajectory, and it is by my big brother and apostle, Ricky D. Surratt. The book can be found at iworkfaith.com. Again, that's iworkfaith.com. And you can actually book him to come do trainings for your organization, for your groups. He is a John Maxwell certified speaker and trainer as well. So if you need someone to do some training, or you need a book to just add to your arsenal of leadership, that's your thing, Leadership Inside Trajectory. And then that's everybody. Yes. Last but not least, if you don't have any of my books, which I don't know why you wouldn't, you still have the children's book, A Learning Book Just for Me, teaching you foundational English and Spanish for your little ones. It's a great back to school group, back to school little gift for your babies. Also, we have On Fire to Inspire, the book. You have to order online because I got bought out last week with those. And then I have the I Am Inspirational Affirmations coloring book and journal. And if you know a teen girl or a woman, I use these for um, helping women or teen girls with just building self-esteem and reminding them of who they are. And regardless of what the world has said, what has God is saying and what has He said? Because His love for you and His thought about you has never changed. All right, so y'all, thank y'all so much for joining us. Again, hit that share button. Thank y'all who tuning in Facebook land. Thank you for tuning in LinkedIn land, and thank you as well in YouTube land. So do me a favor, hit that share button, and we're going to get started. I want to thank our special guest today, Miss Tiffany Teachy. I'm gonna let her introduce herself. So come on in. Welcome to On Fire to Inspire. How are you this evening?
I'm great. Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, it's my pleasure. My pleasure. Tiffany, I want you to introduce yourself to the On Fire to Inspire family.
All right. So my name is Tiffany Teachy, and just to give a good overview, so I help kids be able to excel in math and science through STEM, science, technology, engineering, math, tools to gain access to college scholarships, advanced courses, as well as early college credit. As you can see, I'm a children's book author, STEM children's book author. I am an engineer, senior mechanical engineer. So I'm trying to get more kids into STEM. So that's really my basis of what I do.
Wow, you're a senior mechanical engineer. What got you started in even going in that path?
Mhm. Well, I could say my mom was an educator, my dad was an entrepreneur. And so, no, they were not engineers, but they planted the seed by allowing my brother and I, he's also an engineer, a civil engineer. And so we would have to go to a math and science Saturday academy every Saturday before we could do anything. And so that kind of got us exposed. Initially, I wanted to be a lawyer. And so I thought I could debate and do all that. But, going to the math classes, being that curious girl, asking the questions. And then with the Math and Science Saturday Academy, we would go to the campus of Winston-Salem State University's campus and go and learn, that problem solving plays a role with math and science. The critical thinking plays a role with it. And my dad, like I said, is an entrepreneur. So he had a client who was a civil engineer. And he said, hey, you might need to get your kids into engineering. It's a great field. And so that's called social capital. So who would have thought, with my mom being an educator, could connect, from the education side, get us on the campus and get us to be able to get exposed with the Math and Science Saturday Academy, and then the social capital. That allowed us to know that engineering is a great pathway to go to. So I was able to go to UNC Charlotte, University of North Carolina, Charlotte, undecided engineering, and the sky's the limit. I made it through. It wasn't easy, but I'm glad that I'm able to represent in the field itself as well. So that's what got me into it.
So tell me this, Tiffany, because I know when you think of engineering, you think of males, male
Mm.
dominated environment. What is like the statistic? What are the statistics of a female, no less of an African American female in your field?
I mean, I don't even want to quote any wrong statistics and everything, but the note in my class, just sitting in the classroom, I mean, it was maybe one or two of us, and it depends on the campus and school you went to. I went to UNC Charlotte, but it wasn't many in these fields of classrooms to being a lot more males in it. So it was very slim pickings on the amount of females, even in the classroom. And then you're talking about graduating and into the workforce, it's still limited. So still work to be done. The sky's the limit, but it's all about the representation. If we can start younger with our girls and getting to see that they can be these type of careers, that's really what I think is going to help them in that manner. But I don't want to quote any statistics, but I can tell you from when I went to school in my classroom, it was
Mm,
slim pickings on the amount of females. And then even in the workforce, it's still more work that needs to be done as far as females represented in the workforce.
okay, okay. So you all had to go to these Saturday camps and things. Were you
Mhm.
able to meet someone that looked like you to kind of help you? Just like, oh, I want to do this.
I don't know if we've missed, like I said, I don't know. Like I said, we got exposed to my dad's client who was an engineer. So that was a good way to see some representation.
Okay.
As far as others, that's why I push now, because of the experience growing up of maybe parents getting us exposed. They might not know where to go to get these type of ones, but organizations like the National Society of Black Engineers, the Society of Women Engineers, those organizations are ways to get connected with people in those industries. So no, I didn't get to see as many engineers growing up, but at least I was exposed to at least get the plant to see from my, from the experience of my parents meeting someone who was. But I would love to have experienced it growing up. And I think that's what's key. Seeing some role models, some mentors early on, I think would be key. So I would love to see some more growing up, and definitely in books as well. I don't see much representation in that either. So.
Exactly. So, how did you shift into this dual role of being an author and a mechanical engineer?
Well, like I mentioned, I'm in the National Society of Black Engineers. I'm a lifetime member, and in Society of Women Engineers. And the thing is, they ask us to come and talk in the schools all the time. They like, come and talk. The teachers always want us to come and talk. And so it's those moments where I was talking to the kids, and I was like, okay, how many's been an engineer? And not many hands would go up. But then after I've done the hands-on activities, I've started doing how engineering's fun presentations. Then I asked them again, how many's met an engineer? Now at that point, all hands should go up, because now they've met an engineer that looks like me. And so from there, I said, that was the pivotal moment. I said, okay, I need to put it in writing. These kids have never met anyone that looks like an engineer. So I said, okay, what can I be? STEM careers from A to Z. I saw a challenge on Facebook. Crystal Swain Bates was a challenge. How to, create your best-selling book. And so I learned the process of being able to publish books the right way, as far as doing it and putting it together. And so I started with an alphabet book. I said, let me keep it simple. I wasn't going to try to rhyme. The only rhyming is the name of the book.
Mhm.
But I was able to then utilize my, being an engineer, and then being able to get characters where they can learn about the different careers of STEM. I didn't just do an engineering book. I said, let's do STEM, science, technology, engineering, math, so they can learn all the different type of careers. So it starts from A is for astronaut all the way to Z is for zoologist. And it's got the STEM crew kids. And so they get to see all the different diverse kids in there to learn about all the different types of careers that they can do, well, within the 26 letters. But and yeah, so it was a great experience to be able to now expose these kids, because me, like I said, growing up, I didn't see any books where they talked about engineering and STEM and all these type of careers, much less looks like me in these books. And so I'm honored to be able to represent and get these kids exposed. And so that's how I transitioned from not only just representing as an engineer, but also now becoming a STEM children's book author to try to get these kids exposed.
Yes, congratulations.
Thank
Congratulations.
you.
So your first book, you said you started out with ABCs. What was
Yes.
that like? Even you had to learn something new because this was totally
Mhm.
not in your field. What was
No.
that journey like shifting? You knew that this was like a call that you had to do to help these children. But what was that journey like in that
Mhm.
shift to learning something outside of your comfort zone? Because I know that was
Right.
outside of your comfort
Yes, you
zone.
talk about left brain, right brain, how the analytical side and thinking about it. But when I learned that I can get a book team, I stayed in my lane. When you're talking about getting an illustrator, I had to work with the illustrator. I had to tell her, hey, they can't wear these certain outfits in a, like, if you're at a plant, like I'm at a power plant, or if at a plant, you can't wear certain outfits. So I had to show and talk to the illustrator, give examples so they can know what the characters need to look like. Even trying to describe the characters, like there's so many diverse characters from race to ethnicity in it, and I wanted to make sure they styled the same way that I envisioned it to be. And so working with illustrators, so yes, I worked with a book team. I worked with being able to get the formatting the right way, because a lot of this I wouldn't have known how to do at all. But working with the team, staying in my lane, I learned that piece of knowing what I'm capable of. And so it was a journey, but to see it put together, the cover design, making sure that these are popping colors, that they're appealing and marketable. Because I've seen some where stuff is just thrown together for books, and it's like, and I love your book. Your book is on point. I saw it. You use advertising. So that is important. You got to be eye catching. So it's like little things where you got to make sure it's appealing to the people. And another thing I had to learn is target audience. Your book is not for everybody. And that's what people have to realize. You got to be able to know what your book is for, who it's for, and the age group is for. With children's books, it's such a different range of types of books. And I think people have to realize you got different age groups. Mine is 5 to 8 year olds. It's a picture book. And so I learned what to do with the picture book. Chapter books, you got all different types of books, but knowing your target audience. So you got different types of audience. You got your parents who are buying it, or adults who's buying it, and then you got your kids you got to read to. So it's a whole different ball game when it comes to children's books. And so it's been a learning process throughout this journey. It's about 5 years. I started 2019 and been rolling since, and I've learned how to do color and activity books with it. I've got it translated in Spanish, French, Swahili, and Italian,
Yeah.
and then I have it as a teacher's guide, and now it's a series, STEM Crew Kids Adventure series. So now I've made it where it's a storylines. I got away from the ABCs. Now the STEM Crew kids are doing build a balloon powered car to the magical, spaceship. And so now they're working as a team in classroom and in different settings, and showing how they can now put stuff together and put stuff, from that. So I've learned how to leverage my book, get on different stages. I've been able to take my book and get on TEDx. I've been a TEDx international speaker. I was in South Africa and I spoke about STEM. And so it's not just a book, it's more than a book. And that's what I share with people. It's more than a book. You got to leverage it. So I've been able to get on different stages and share my platform, just like I'm on here with you. It's just amazing to get the message out there. All starting with a book and my passion to try to get it out there. So that's
Yeah.
really how the journey's been, to be on different platforms with the book and putting it together. It's a team effort with my book team, and I've been able to now spin it off, and I have my own publishing agency, Inspired Authors Publishing. I've had clients So now others that want to create their own children's books or any type of books, now that I know the right way to do it, I've been able to have clients, and I said, let me help others to be able to do it too. So that's what I've been doing.
I love it. I love it. You didn't say, well, I learned this and it's just mine. I want to help others do the
Others.
same. I love it. Now, what about you said you were on TEDx stage in Africa, in South Africa. That's amazing. That's exciting and congratulations.
Thank you.
Would you have ever thought that your children's book would have opened up a door like that?
Listen, you talk about the vision boards. I mean, who would have thought I would? I did a vision board. I said, I want to travel. I want to go to Africa. I want to do a TEDx talk. You say all these things. You put it the vision. Write the vision, make it plain type thing. And so it's like I envisioned it, and so it came to pass where I was able to have the opportunity to get on a stage, to talk about STEM. That was the talk, just how it's important, and then to be able to travel to the University of South Africa, hosting the TEDx, and just it's amazing the international side of things. I've been able to travel with to get the message out there. I first went to Ghana, and I was able to go and get my books out in Ghana, and then South Africa, Botswana, and then Italy following time frame. So when I said I've been translating ones, I knew I
Yes.
was going to Italy. So I said, oh, let me get an Italian book. I've got it in Swahili. And so, yeah, I've tried to, like I said, leverage the book in so many ways. And I think that's been instrumental to know that I'm making an impact. You know what really makes my day is when I've talked to these kids, and they might grow up and then they come back and say, I remember when like planting that seed. And that's really what gets me where I know that I've made an impact in their lives.
I was about to ask the next question. What keeps you motivated? What keeps you
Mm,
going with with this? Because this is basically like your ministry. This is an
yeah.
assignment that God has called you to. What
Yes.
keeps you going and grounded and motivated? Because
Yeah.
we all have times we're like, okay, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, and you can get a little burnt out. But what
Hmm.
keeps you motivated in the realm of knowing this is my assignment and I got
Yeah.
to keep going? What keeps you
Yeah.
motivated?
The motivation is knowing that I'm making that impact. Let me tell you, like going out doing the book, you know, vending events, going out doing those, and when I'm signing a book, I'll give you a scenario. So there was three sisters, three young ladies, and one of them was like an older sister, and she was like, "Y'all need to realize she's an author. Like she's big. She's wrote this book." And so she was telling that to the little sister, to her younger sisters. And what happened was after I signed the book, one of the sisters that came back, they came back and said, thank you so much for being in the book. And so, in the back of my books, I have a picture of me as an author. So I'm not only just planting a seed of them being in these type of careers, but they can also write their own book, and that they can see themselves being an author as well. And so you never know that's what fuels me. Moments like that, that fuels me when I said, okay, it doesn't take much, but at least if I made a difference in one child's life or one person's life, I think that's the biggest piece that I know. I'm and another thing is the quote by Shirley Chisholm: "Service is the rent we pay for the privilege of living here on earth." And so that is what I do. Service. I give
Mm.
back and I make sure I'm making an impact. And that's probably why you said it's a ministry of the why I do what I do, because I know that it's planting seeds and I'm making an impact with the service I do.
So that's your why.
Yes.
That's definitely your why. Yes. And you never know what child's life was shifted just by meeting you.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
It's like, I don't have to live like this. I can do
Mhm.
what she's doing.
Right.
They
Right.
all right. So resources. What kind of resources do you have available or
Mhm.
that you can help leverage with others?
Okay. Yeah, of course I have my books. Like I said, the series of books and everything too. But I do offer a free. I always give some freebies. I always like to give freebies. 10 STEM scholarships and organizations ebook. So basically, I've researched various types of STEM organizations that people can get into, and I've also broken it down into like gender, women, people of color. Like I've also looked up those type of organizations, such as the NSBE, National Society of Black Engineers, the Society of Women Engineers, those type of organizations. But I also looked up scholarships because our kids need to get scholarships as well. And so I'm offering a free, I've looked them up, already ready for you. 10 STEM scholarships and organizations. So if anybody wants it, www.stemistheway.com. Try to have it simple, straight to the point. Stemistheway.com, because this is the way. The jobs are out here. The There's so many millions, and I talk about it on the stage with the TEDx talk. There are millions of unfulfilled jobs out there in STEM. And so we want to make sure our kids are getting exposed to it, and they're getting the scholarships, and they're getting the needed, resources for it. So not only do I have the books, but I also have a free giveaway. But I also, just to put it out there, I have a magazine. I don't know if I'll turn it this way, but I also have a magazine. It's called the STEM Crew Magazine, and so it's getting ready to launch the next one in the end of this month. So the thing is, it's got various trailblazers in STEM, and it's encouraging, and it's got activities in there too. So this is the fourth edition of it, and so who would have thought I'd be able to get the platform into a magazine? And so it's got an astronaut on the front of it, Joni Higginbotham, the third African American female astronaut to go to space. And so definitely, if anybody wants another free resource, stemcrewmagazine.com, and you can get the free digital too. And so mainly trying to get the message out there, it's been the biggest thing. So if you definitely want to try to connect, these are some resources that I have that I've been able to make sure, if you don't know, you'll get to know through these type of resources that I have. But definitely the www.stemisttheway.com, that'll get you where you can get to the books as well as the free 10 STEM scholarships and organizations.
There was the fact that your parents were, one was an entrepreneur and one was an educator. They kind of exposed you to so many things. What would you say to the parents who are in small towns that don't have access to
Mm-hmm.
things like what you were exposed to? What would you say to those parents who are listening to us or who maybe listen to the replay?
Yes, and I touch on this. There's four things that I will say that that kids need to have, and one of them was mentioned access. So access, exposure, opportunity, and knowledge. If we can get our kids exposed through those four things, I think that's key. So when you touched on the access piece, that is important. There are resources out here, of course, that they can look at. Like I mentioned, job shadowing. We talk about internships of going to sit under somebody. If you want to be a veterinarian, I have veterinarian in this book. If you have a pet and you're taking your child to the veterinary, go have them sit for a job shadow and for a day, and then they can learn about those different careers. So there's different ways to be creative. Hands-on activities are great ways at home that you could do with your kids. Even going to museums, going to different nature parks. How does STEM play a role with these type of things? And even as a parent, it's educating you as well. But the resources out there to try to think creative, science, technology, engineering, math. What ways do you think everyday things that we do are ways that we can get our kids exposed? I do have another book. It's called the STEM Playbook. So definitely connect with me, because I got all different resources. All these questions that people are asking, I have put them into books. I put it into resources. I basically looked up various hands-on activities, and it's all in the STEM Playbook. And from there, they can get different ideas that they can do at home. And so definitely want our parents to make sure that they can do it, just knowing the right resources and access, going to search different careers in these type of fields, and go do job shadowing, get the kids to go exposed. Getting some robots, go get some robots, and online if you have to. And you don't have to try to do it all at once. Take step by step. The coding part in there, but there's instructions with them too. You can start from baby steps if you don't even know how to do it. But robotics is another popular activity. I have robotics engineer. That's one of the careers out there. So the book I have, it has the different careers, but you can then start doing activities tied to that career as well. And so when I said the veterinarian, go visit a veterinarian. The robotics engineer, let's go get a robot. Let's see how we can build upon it. And so those are some different ideas I definitely could say. And then try to see if we can connect with organizations like the National Society of Black Engineers, Society of Women Engineers, and see if there's some volunteers that maybe can connect, talk to the kids. I think that's been the biggest piece of it too, because they're willing to talk to them, because they want more of us to be represented as well.
I love it. Love it, love it, love it. So how can they follow you, connect with you? Because you are a walking wealth of knowledge. How can they follow you and connect with you?
You know what? I've already said it. You want to get connected with me? Go to www.stemisttheway.com. From there, you're gonna get that free resource of the 10 STEM scholarships and organizations, but you're gonna get some follow-up emails from me too. So you'll get some emails to say, okay, this is how you can get in touch with me from the different platforms, from the Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. But www.stemisttheway.com. That is the way to connect with me because I'm already going to be in touch with you once you connect with me through there. So that's my go-to. Go there. And of course, my name's Tiffany Teachy. It's Tiffany with an I. So it's, go look that up and we'll connect that way. So www.stemisttheway.com.
And Tiffany, any final words that you want to leave with the people to just make them just something that you want to just stick? If nothing else, you needed to stick tonight with them.
Right. Just believe it. When I write in the book for these kids, I always sign it and autograph it. If you believe it, then you can achieve it. And so that's just how I plant the seed so these kids can know that if they believe it, they can achieve it. What can I be? STEM Careers from A to Z is a starting point just to get them exposed. And I think that's the biggest piece. Our kids can be any of these type of careers, but it starts with making sure that we plant the seeds, encourage them, empower them, especially our young girls. Like I said, I was in math class. My mom had to come up to talk to the teacher and told her Tiffany can ask as many questions as she wants because she questioned me. But we are young and curious minds. Don't forget these kids that are curious and asking questions so young. You'll never know. They might be that future engineer. My brother was that one who was Teddy Ruskin, dating himself. But if they see a talking bear, he cut open the stomach and put a walkie-talkie in it. Like, you'll never know what future engineers, what future statisticians, or any of these type of careers, veterinarians, any of these careers. But do not sleep on these kids when they're starting early asking the questions. Go ahead and get them exposed earlier on. And I think that's key.
I
Thank you.
love it. Tiffany, thank you so much for stopping by and sharing and the wealth of our knowledge. Was there anything else that we missed that you could think of that you want to share tonight that we didn't get the opportunity to share?
No, thank you for the opportunity. Thank you for allowing me to be on your platform. And I'm looking forward to continue to connect with you. And it's been a pleasure. So thank you.
You are so welcome. Thank you again. So, y'all, I tell you, this has been an awesome, awesome interview tonight. If y'all missed any of her interview, you want to go back and hit the replay. Do me a favor, sow this into someone's life. Share it with them. If they have young children, share it with them. We need to expose these children to things that they can see someone that looks like them. She's a senior mechanical engineer. And so, you a lot of times people don't see people who look like them. And I have the opportunity of being able to say, "Ooh, my godson is getting ready to graduate as a mechanical engineer, and my daughter's getting ready to graduate next year as an engineering an electrical engineer." So that is so funny that in the timing of it all, I met a senior mechanical. So I'm gonna make sure that those two watch it so they can see they can be an impact for younger people as well. So y'all make sure you come back same time, same place next week. We have great, great interviews lined up for you. Remember to set your put on your calendar October the 26th. That is when we're doing my next empowerment conference entitled The Reintroduction. So it's going to be an awesome, awesome time. More information to come, but set your market calendar now, October 26th. All right, y'all. I'll see y'all same time, same place next week. Have a blessed, awesome week. I am Aaliyah, the Purpose Midwife. See you soon.